Sonic, Dark, Chaotix, and Rose. By these four elements combined, Sonic heroes can be brought into this world. With familiar faces, spiritual successors, and blasts from the past, Heroes share so much DNA with games from Sonic history, yet insists on carving out its own unique, twisted identity. Is this merely an unfortunate happenstance, a faulty development leaving the game in a state of Sonic limbo? Or is a more masterful design at play here? The very first stage of Sonic Heroes, Seaside Hill, seems to be a standard introductory level, but this isn't true, as subtle features in the design point us towards a darker truth. You see, water is often associated with the supernatural, and the boundary between life and death in particular. As we transition further into the level, we come to the Ocean Palace. The structures present here are clearly ancient and must have been quite significant to their culture of origin. Enough care has gone into the building of the palace that its security system is still functioning, even centuries after it was abandoned. Additionally, the pathway in the second half of the level is dotted with archways that are clearly inspired by Japan's torii gates. To pass through a torii gate is to leave the mundane and enter the sacred. Their association with death and the afterlife is clear. These first two levels represent the boundary between life and death, the entrance to a Dante's Inferno-like trial that Sonic and friends must overcome if they have any hopes of surviving their grave ordeal. But before the heroes may plunge deeper into the abyss, they are met with a ghost from their past, one that has haunted them for years. This encounter with the Egghawk is no different, though the exact layout of this fight is different. The Eggman is not a relentless pursuer here, rather, he runs away. The Hawk is almost always moving away from the heroes, just barely out of reach, like a denizen from another world calling out to them, urging them to come back. But muscle memory kicks in, they defeat the villain and win the day. Though doesn't this victory feel a bit hollow? It goes without saying that Sonic and friends are not actually fighting Eggman here. Rather, this is a monster created from memories of their lives and the residual traumas of their death. Eggman was the cause of it, so he and his robots remain in Sonic Heroes as they would any other game. Our protagonist's struggle against them is a struggle against cruel reality. To truly understand what's going on here, we need to go back in time, back to 2001. Sonic Adventure 2, a story of love, war, and the inevitability of death, ends on a seemingly uplifting note. In its final act, the space colony Ark is sent hurtling into the Earth's atmosphere by the bio-lizard, now empowered and labeled Final Hazard. But when push comes to shove, Sonic and Shadow band together to stop this catastrophe and save the planet, Shadow sacrificing his life for the sake of the mission. The day is saved and our heroes can go about their lives once more. Or can they? What if I told you that our heroes didn't win at the end of Sonic Adventure 2? What if Sonic was actually dead? Believe it or not, all of this is fact, and Sonic Heroes proves that. First, there's the unmistakable connection to the Sonic Adventure series. We never got a proper Sonic Adventure 3, but 2 years after Adventure 2 was released, we got another 3D Sonic game with a heavy fixation on the number 3. 3 heroes, 3 teams, 3D, released December 30th, 2003. Still not convinced, huh? What about Shadow then? Team Dark's story brings together Shadow the Hedgehog, Rouge the Bat, and E123 Omega, 2 of which are major players introduced in Sonic Adventure 2, and the other a twisted perversion on Gamma from Adventure 1. But Shadow is different. His entire existence and arc are reliant on Adventure 2. Without that story, without the ultimate life form narrative, there would be no Shadow. His being in Heroes is no coincidence, and neither is his distinct lack of memories. Every major player in-game has existed in one form or another in the previous 2 adventure games, and given the cataclysmic fate of the planet following the impact of the Space Colony Arc, each of these characters is undeniably deceased. They've passed into the land of the dead via the Ocean Palace, but what more awaits our Sonic heroes? The Grand Metropolis is their second destination, an impossibly advanced city of innovation. To us, this city seems fantastical and unrealistic, but in the eyes of our furry friends, the same could be said of Station Square and Central City. Perhaps this is a crude recreation of those locales, built in the Sonic collective unconscious. Power also plays an integral role in the makeup of the Grand Metropolis, with large pipes of this viscous orange energy scattered throughout the level. We even see some of this energy up close and personal in power plant, and folks, I would hesitate to call this nuclear. The floating fireballs present throughout the level are harmless unless disturbed, floating aimlessly without direction as they've been removed from their pipes. But where exactly do these pipes go? Deeper. Deeper down into the underworld. This isn't energy we've been dealing with. It's souls of the damned being ferried away to their afterlife. But besides the fur and incredible physical abilities, what distinguishes these errant souls from the Sonic heroes? Perhaps they're not as far gone as we initially considered. Casino Park and Bingo Highway present as fun and exciting worlds ruled by chance. The entire casino is literally made from games, with pleasant lights and sounds coming together to make it more amusement park than roadway. It's hard not to look at these two levels and think, man, I'd love to live there. And that's entirely by design. This is a world ruled by temptation, trying to draw the heroes in so they'll accept their passing and move on to the next world. Only through a steadfast commitment to their mission are the heroes able to move forward, avoiding the neon trap laid out for them. Overcoming this hurdle takes them to Rail Canyon, a dry and desolate wasteland with a focus on fast-paced transit. Speed has always been the name of the game, but this far down in the Sonic underworld, it would make sense for the souls of the damned to be transported with a degree of swiftness. The souls of the damned, you may say, utterly confused at this logical leap. What is this canyon if not scorched earth and death, an environment befitting the devil himself? Still not convinced? What about the horned trains encountered throughout the levels? Eggman isn't the only one prideful enough to decorate his minions. These trains are undeniably demonic in nature, and their lack of distinct egg imagery means they don't belong to the mad scientist himself. Rather, these are supernatural beings belonging to the grand cosmology of the Sonic afterlife. Speaking of the Eggman, eggs? Sonic's heroes face him head-on once again, the egg still running from these ghosts in his egg albatross. Only this time, the heroes finally realize that this Ivo Robotnik is a facade. It's at this point that the true mastermind finally reveals himself, the dark angel of death leading the players towards an untimely demise. Neo, Metal Sonic. This reveal may be jarring to the audience on multiple levels. For the casuals viewing Heroes as a standard Sonic adventure, they wonder who this new adversary is and what has become of Robotnik. But those who understand the deeper lore of the game have another question on their minds. What does his metal incarnation mean? How does he connect to the animals tripped through Inferno? The game refuses to give answers right away, and so we must follow in its footsteps and move on to the next layer of the underworld, Frog Forest. The lush, froggy canopy of this jungle presents us with an unprecedented feeling of peace despite the danger present. It feels wrong. Why have we suddenly come to such a beautiful place? The answer may shock you. This is a mirage. The world our heroes traverse is one made from their memories. The powers that be are probing into their hearts and minds, looking for poignant memories in order to confuse and sedate Sonic and friends. The frogs are a clear callback to Froggy, the true star of Sonic Adventure and an integral part of Chaos themselves. Then, when our heroes break through the lost jungle, they find themselves in a familiar scene. It's here that the gang runs into Team Dark, Shadow himself at its head. This scene is nearly a one-to-one match with a moment from Sonic and Shadow's past, the jungle. The only difference is that this time the hedgehogs have brought their friends along. It's a trap, one they almost fall into. They were meant to meet here and be locked in combat forever, never to return to the world they knew. But as the two lovers quarrel, the power of their bond breaks through, giving them the insight to finally realize that something isn't right. It's this insight that leads them to Hang Castle. The gothic aesthetics and presence of more traditional specters makes Hang Castle an easy read for the underworld. The fact that this ghoulish level appears so late in the game must indicate that our heroes recognize their death now. Their journey thus far has been a series of taunting memories and desperate attempts at getting Sonic and friends to lower their guards and pass on to the next world, but this purgatory can't disguise itself anymore. The prevalent death in this world is exposed for all to see. When moving on to Mystic Mansion, the world truly unwinds and distorts. The laws of the living world no longer needed here in the afterlife. The heroes persist though, even facing 3 trials specifically designed to test each individual's resolve. Overcoming this causes the smoky black void to dissipate and a clear blue sky to return. They're closer now than they've ever been. Sonic and friends may very well be able to escape from hell itself, but they need first kill the devil. Eggman has been lurking in the periphery of this entire adventure, and the Egg Fleet and Final Fortress are where we at last face off with this deranged inventor. The clear blue sky indicates the true sight our heroes have obtained. They know exactly where they are and what has happened. They even recognize that the Eggman they're fighting isn't real. The Egg Emperor, Eggman's parent ultimate weapon and last stand, is an avatar, an amalgam of the collective memory and dread of all the dead animals. This is the icon of their demise, and the battle against it is one of acceptance. Their brutal struggle is against fear more than anything else. The fear that accepting this truth is to submit to the grave. But our heroes fight on regardless. They're not alone. They can fall back on each other when they're scared or hurt. The true power is teamwork, and through it, they not only accept the circumstances of their death, but they begin to defy it. There's only one barrier in their way. Granted, it's a primordial barrier, one that holds power over all living things: death. The specter of death takes the shape of Sonic himself, but a twisted metal Sonic, one that stands alone against the inky void. The Angel of Death challenges the heroes, intent on condemning them to the underworld forever. But Sonic and friends do what they do best. They rebel and they choose to fight against death itself. What happens next is a fight against nature and the flow of the universe. Through sheer willpower, Sonic and friends reject their own mortality and conquer the concept of death. This move would ultimately be lauded as a sort of supernatural prophecy. In a critical moment in gaming history, the Sonic franchise refused to be beat out. It refused to die. Following Sonic Heroes, the franchise would skyrocket into popularity. Games like Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic Tropical Freeze, and Super Sonic Bros. Ultimate would rake in money and praise for Sega and the series, pushing out Mario and cementing Sonic as the true icon of gaming. To this day, Sonic the Hedgehog continues to grow and push the boundaries of what gaming can be. As recently as 2020, Sonic has starred in a live-action movie which broke the box office and had critics raving for months. Sonic has been made into a marketable doll more than a few anime, and we've even genetically replicated his essence and turned him into curry. This is all possible because of Sonic Heroes and the true narrative at its core. Sonic has faced death, but even more than that, he's overcome it. Sonic is truly immortal.